Happy day 204 of my challenge, and happy Saturday to you guys. It's the weekend. Pain is one of life's greatest teachers, though it may not feel like that in the moment. It has a way of stripping away all pretenses, leaving us face to face with the deepest questions of our soul. When you are hurting, whether through physical suffering or emotional wounds or spiritual battles, it is not easy to remain hopeful. But pain, it has a voice. It speaks loudly, drowning out reason and whispering doubts about God's goodness. Perhaps you're listening to me today and you're carrying maybe a silent burden, or maybe you're walking through grief, illness, betrayal, or even fear. You may feel like your soul has been being pressed beyond its limits, but here's the encouragement that I want to give to you guys today. Sometimes what feels like God breaking you, it's actually God building you. When we read the Bible, we discover that some of the greatest men and women were not spared from suffering. Take Joseph, for example, in the Bible. Joseph was a man of faith and integrity, yet his life was filled with pain and injustice. He was betrayed by his brothers. He was sold into slavery, falsely accused. He was thrown into prison and forgotten by the very people that he had helped. If anyone had a reason to cry out, "God, where are you?" it was Joseph. And yet, behind all the painful moments, God was at work. What looked like tragedy was actually training. What felt like abandonment was preparation. And when the time was right, God lifted Joseph to a place of great influence, not only saving his own family, but also preserving nations through a famine, right? At the end of his trials, Joseph was able to look at those who had wronged him and declared in Genesis chapter 50, verse 20, "You meant evil against me, but God meant it for good." That is the perspective of faith. Anyways, I love you guys, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I shall see you tomorrow.